Ignite the spark with Dr. Angela's eye. Step into the future shining bright, helping students reach new heights. Wellness care with Rob, you so right. Business with my boo, we take the lead. Hospital beauty serving those in need. Podcast flames, we plant the seed.
So, what if the best chapter of your life doesn't begin at 20, 30, or even 40? What if it begins now? Welcome to a place where experiences become wisdom, setbacks become stepping stones, and reinvention is not only possible, but is powerful. This is Ignite Your Next Phase with Dr. Angela. Let's talk about it. I'm your host, Dr. Angela, and I'm so excited to have you here with me today. Here on this podcast, we talk to people who are thriving after their 50s, people who are stepping into their next phase. We explore stories of courage, growth, purpose, second chances, and new beginnings. We talk about life, love, purpose, career, and reinvention. Because no matter what your age, there's still so much life to live, so much to learn, and so much to ignite. So grab your favorite cup of coffee, or maybe it's a glass of wine, I don't know. Take a deep breath, and let's talk about it. Today's podcast is being sponsored by M&M Aesthetics. Skincare is so important. I have facials at M&M, and I love them. My face always has a glow. Contact them for your services at mnmaesthetics1@gmail.com. Today I have a very special guest. She's not quite 50 yet, but she's an exciting person. Dr. Krista Walker. Hi, Dr. Walker, and welcome to Ignite with Dr. Angela.
Thank you, Dr. Angela. Thank you for having me. Really excited to be here.
So I'm so excited to have you. So why don't you start by telling me a little bit about your next phase that you're living?
Yeah, so this next phase is really interesting. It is the phase of being an entrepreneur, which,
Okay.
um, quite frankly, I think I knew that that's what I probably should have been doing
Okay.
probably 10, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But um, I was just like, I don't, it seems scary. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And so, you know, now I am in the process of building my own tech company
Oh, wow.
that is supporting maternal health. So
Okay.
I'm really excited about that. It is really interesting. It is very different, and I am learning along the way.
So tell me what got you interested in first maternal health.
hmm So, while I so initially, I my background is really in education,
Mm-hmm.
and so while I was doing my doctoral degree at the University of Iowa, I became pregnant with my son,
Okay.
and he was the most wonderful thing to me in the world, and I was really excited about being pregnant, and just really excited about the entire journey.
Mm-hmm.
Had absolutely no idea what to expect, as most first-time moms,
Mm-hmm.
do. And so, as I'm going through my experience, I, gave birth to my son in one of the local hospitals, and had a really traumatizing and terrifying experience as a Black woman. Giving birth. And so around that time, that was actually when I believe like Beyonce was having her daughter,
Mm-hmm.
when when Serena Williams had almost died,
Mm-hmm.
giving birth to her daughter. And there were all these Black women across the nation that had been dying either during childbirth or shortly after. And so I had a really, really tumultuous experience. And from that point forward, I was just like, we can't continue to have Black women repeatedly dying for things that are preventable because, you know, when you look at the statistics, almost 80% of the women that die, like this is preventable.
Right.
And as we are looking at you know, all the other things that are happening with regards to support and money that they're pouring into maternal health has improved for every racial group with the exception of Black women,
Mm-hmm.
and that is a problem. And so my experience is essentially was the impetus for me moving in this direction, but the fact that it hasn't changed and my son is 8 is a problem for me.
And you mentioned some pretty wealthy and very well known
Mhm.
Black women who have experienced near death experiences during pregnancy, childbirth, or postpartum. Um,
Right.
and the statistics are pretty staggering. I don't know the
Mhm.
exact numbers, but I do know that they're pretty staggering when you look at even you look in the Latino, you compare the Latino race to the
Yeah.
Black race
Mhm.
women, and
Mhm.
Black women, their numbers are still staggering.
Yeah. And it's interesting because even in the state of Michigan,
Hmm.
the area of Detroit,
Hmm.
their maternal mortality rate is 3 times worse than the
Oh,
national
wow.
average,
That's pretty
which,
scary.
yeah,
I know
it's, I mean,
Governor Whitmer had
mhm,
an initiative,
mhm,
I know a couple years ago,
mhm,
and there was an initiative for the African American maternal mortality.
mhm,
So yeah, it's a big issue in
yeah,
Michigan.
yeah. And so, and that's, you know, I was only, you know, living in Michigan and
Hmm.
understanding that all of this, but it doesn't, it makes me think about places like Louisiana
Hmm.
and places like Mississippi and Arkansas. And I
Right.
don't know what the statistics are there, but those are heavily those are heavily populated states with minorities.
Right.
And if we just go back and think about the history of healthcare, it's not kind to people who are othered.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
Definitely.
I would assume that like the statistics are probably pretty abysmal in those states as well.
And then you look at a case. I don't know if you remember the case of the woman. Maybe about 6 months ago who went into the hospital
Hmm.
and was sent away while she was in definitely active labor. Anybody,
Yeah.
most people, especially people in the hospital, should have been able to tell that she was in active labor, and she ended up
Hmm.
having a baby in the car.
Yep. Yep. There was another woman who was a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
and she was working in
Mm-hmm.
maternal health, supporting other women, and this would have been her first child,
Mm.
and she died
Wow.
during like shortly after childbirth
How
from some of the
scary.
same, yeah.
How
And I'm like,
scary.
and she's doing the work, like
Mm-hmm.
she is in the field doing
Mm-hmm.
the work, trying to support these women, and
Yep.
she died herself. Like that's crazy to me.
It's very scary. So tell
Hmm.
me how you combine that with your tech business.
Yeah, so I have basically developed an app that provides support for patients.
Okay.
And so, you mentioned Governor Whitmer, and even, when we go back and think about when Michelle Obama was in the White House, and
Mm-hmm.
President Obama was in the White House, there were a lot of initiatives that were happening during that time to help support
Right.
maternal mortality. There was the Hear Her campaign that was
Mm-hmm.
like a national campaign, just highlighting the voices of Black women who had felt as though like their concerns were kind of disregarded.
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, that is one of the things that many women have said, I just feel like I'm not being heard, or my
Right.
concerns aren't being,
Right.
utilized. But the thing about many of these campaigns that were taking place is that they were being developed on the side of like the hospital and the clinical practitioners. And
Right.
so it was about increasing either education or increasing support for clinical providers,
Mm-hmm.
things along those lines. They would implement DEI training, and that's great and all, but we have a lot of people that just kind of check the box
Right.
when they go
Right.
through that DEI training, and then they go back to being whoever they are.
Right.
But the difference with my app is that my app was developed on the feedback of patients.
Okay.
And so there have been a group of like 14 Black women that I have met with numerous times. And the way that we are developing the app is
Mm-hmm.
through their lens, their experience of when they gave birth, or when they had a daughter that gave birth, or, you know, um, a sister or something like that. Many of them had, and unfortunately, many of them, they also have their own traumatic stories
Mm-hmm.
of like when they had their child. And so this is, it's kind of, and I use this because I feel like it's funny, but I feel like it is the most, like it really describes what this app for is for. And so, the brand Fubu,
Mm-hmm.
uh, for you by you.
Mm-hmm.
This app is an app for patients, developed from the feedback of patients, the things that they essentially feel like they
Right.
will need in order to better support them in having that conversation with their clinical provider.
And that's so important. And it makes me think of something that is kind of off the subject, but a similar subject. You have
Hmm.
someone come in and they're going to make this, we're going to get this place together. They don't ask the people that work there. They decide what they think will make the place better. And
Exactly.
so that concept you just use to who best knows what they need but themselves, right?
Hmm. Hmm. And, many clinicians also say, like, if you talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
um, they'll say, the person came in, they were like, "Oh, such and such is wrong. Like
Right.
something
Right.
doesn't feel right." And then they do all these tests, and that have nothing to do with what the patient actually
Right.
said was the problem. And then do all these tests, come back, no results, and then do another test and come back, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it was what they were at." Yes,
Right.
because they
Right.
knew what the patient knows their body. Like they know when something is wrong. And
Right.
so we should listen to them. It's
Right.
important to listen to them.
No, that is such an important thing. I love that. I love this whole concept that you're. So, when are you planning on putting it into action, or have you already put it into action?
So we are in the phase of testing it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we will be testing it out with just a small subset of about 30 women that are early pregnancy
Mm-hmm.
to up to 1 year postpartum, because that maternal mortality, that rate includes like women who up to a year have potential to have some kind of traumatic event. But we will be or not testing, but like getting feedback from about 30 to 40 women of color, and making changes based on their feedback because it's for them.
Right.
And then we will look at expanding. And right now, we're really focused on our pilot is really going to be focused in Detroit and probably the area of Flint. And we're looking at some other cities that are within the state that are heavily populated with medically underserved communities.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, I have a lot of people even out of state that are really interested in being able to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be letting it be available to anyone who wants to be able to use it.
Would you be incorporating the services of like a doula?
So the interesting thing about this app is that it it will allow advocacy support services. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you want your advocate to be a doula,
Mm-hmm.
be a doula. If you
Okay.
want your advocate to be a human patient advocate that's actually at the hospital, because that's one of the things that I also realized when I gave birth to my son
Mm-hmm.
is that um, I did not know that patient advocates existed at hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that that's information that's like readily available.
Right.
And I think people only find out if one is like assigned to their particular, them being there. But
Right.
before I had my son, I did not know that they existed.
Okay. Okay.
And so I feel like that's also a problem just in communication with the patient populations that are coming in there to not know that there are resources
Mm-hmm.
that are available in the hospitals, um, that they are not being told about or even know how they really work. And so this app will allow you to be able to connect with one, or you can have an AI assistant and be
Okay.
able. So it's the difference between this app is because I know that so it doesn't give clinical advice.
Okay.
It's not about making clinical decisions or anything along those lines, but it helps the patient be better prepared
Mm-hmm.
for their appointment. So
Okay.
if they have questions or if they don't even know what questions to
Mm-hmm.
ask, it can help provide them with the questions to ask.
Okay.
It can help, if there's follow-up that needs
Mm-hmm.
to happen, it'll provide them with a checklist of like the follow-up that needs to happen. Like if you need to go get your blood taken or you need to go, it'll provide them with a checklist for all of those things. And so it'll be really, really a tool to ensure that like you are as well educated as can be, either before you get to your appointment, during your appointment,
Mm-hmm.
or just if you just need to debrief what happened in your appointment and you want to talk to it, ask it questions, or ask the actual advocate or doula. You can ask them questions after as well and connect with them.
Very good. I really love this idea. I have some
Thank you.
possible connections for you on this. So,
Take 'em.
so what do you like best about this next phase?
You know, I think the thing that I am starting to like about this next phase is one, I'm doing something that I wholeheartedly believe in.
Okay.
And there's nothing separate from what I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
that is just like an aside.
Okay.
It is wholeheartedly something that I am passionate about. The other thing that I really love about this is that it allows me time to to kind of rest and rejuvenate for myself.
Okay.
I feel like I have a better work-life balance.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I also feel like that it gives me an opportunity to spend time with my son.
Okay.
And so all of those things are things that are balance and peace are things that I feel like, and alignment are
Mm-hmm.
things that I feel like I am searching for in this stage of my life. And it it is allowing me that, which I don't think that I've ever had that before.
I know sometimes changes, you don't necessarily know why you're going through a certain life change, but it, you like you said, it just gave you time to do some of the things that you wanted to do. So, and
Hmm.
explore some of the things that you wanted to capitalize on. So,
Hmm. And I think that the other thing that it does, which I I think that this is like because I've been doing, like
right.
working for others for
Mm-hmm.
so long. I almost have to give myself permission
Mm-hmm.
to be able to like live like this
Right. Okay.
and not think that I'm doing something wrong or that this is not what it's supposed to look like.
I think you're not the only one that has issues with that. You know, I've talked to others about even imposter syndrome,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of that. I actually saw that there's this woman that is, she has this Facebook page, and she talks about, and there's a whole research around imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And and
Yeah.
sometimes that can come into play as we start to make changes into our the phases of life that we want to change, and
Hmm.
spaces where we want to be in, and we
Hmm.
know in our head we know that we belong there, but sometimes we have to overcome those feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So what would you say you like least about this phase?
Uh Honestly, when I think about it, um I don't know that there's anything that I don't like about this phase.
Okay.
I think the thing, like, it's a lot of un unexpected things
Mm-hmm.
that happen, but, I try to be as reflective as possible, even when it's something that's challenging me because, if it's something that's challenging me, I'm still learning something new,
Okay.
and I am a person that throughout my life, like I get bored very
Mm-hmm.
easily.
Okay.
And so if I have the opportunity to like learn how to, learn this technique or learn more about this particular topic, or learn how to write this or learn how to draw that, um, it might be challenging.
Right.
And that part of it being challenging isn't always like amazing. But when I go back and I reflect on it, I've learned something that I didn't know how to do before.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, um, it we all can't do an Ironman, whatever.
Right.
But and the training for the Ironman is probably horrendous, and I would never do that. I
Right.
now that's one thing
Yeah,
I
me
would
too. I don't think so.
never do. But if you end up winning,
Right.
it was worth it.
Right.
All
Right.
those days of either getting up early or, like pushing yourself and all of those different things, it was worth it in the end. And so that's how I try to reflect and think about the things that may not be the things that I, like prefer to do, but it's allowing me to hone a skill that I didn't have before. And so in that I am grateful for that.
So what specific obstacles have you had during this phase of your life?
So for me, I think the things that have been really challenging is that, the world of entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
like I think that there are times where you just you just don't know.
Right.
Like you don't know what you don't know. And
Right.
so
I've experienced
sometimes
that before.
it's like, oh, I had to do that. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. Or, oh, you have to go. Okay, that's all right. We, mm, okay, we don't have to do that. And I think that those are the parts that is just like there's no one way on how to do this. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's even when I think about like parenting,
Right.
there's a lot of people that have kids and they can
Mm-hmm.
give you a whole bunch of different suggestions, but like your child is your child.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
They didn't come with a book.
no, no. And so I feel like this is something that I'm trying to navigate is just there's there's no blueprint.
So, when things get stressful, what type of coping skills do you have or strategies?
Me and Jesus
Mm-hmm.
have become really, really good friends.
Okay.
Really, really good. My faith is literally the only thing that I hold on to. And so within the last 2 years, as I have been kind of moving in and with the development of my app and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
I have really, strengthened my relationship with the Lord, understanding who God says I am, understanding the love that God has for me, and the ways that even how the development of my app is a part of my calling. And so me making sure that I am doing the things that I need to do so that, he can be pleased with me. And so um my faith is uh the only thing that
Okay.
has really allowed me to be able to move forward in the happy times and the really difficult times.
So, if you had it to do over again, would you change anything?
Uh I don't know because I think that I truly believe that um everything is purposeful,
Okay.
but I also believe that God doesn't waste anything, even if we make decisions on ourselves that kind of go against, like what would believe would be or what he thinks is the best for us.
Mm-hmm.
Um I don't know that I would change anything. I think that um well, I don't want to say I wouldn't change it. I think I might listen to that voice that said working for yourself is the way that you should go. I don't know that at the time when I was hearing that, I don't know that I had anything in mind
Mm-hmm.
as to like what that would be. Like I think it was purposeful that, I experienced what I experienced with my son. I think it was
Right.
purposeful as I transitioned and started working in healthcare education to be able to understand some of the challenges that patient populations experience and that clinicians, specifically of color, face, and how healthcare education, who it was constructed for and who it was not constructed for. Like, I think all of those things
Mm-hmm.
uh, are the reason why I am who I am and why I am moving forward. And so I wouldn't want to take that away. Um, I definitely went through some really difficult times,
Right.
but I think that those were needed for me to be able to be where I am right now. So,
And that's such an emotionally astute concept
mhm.
that even things that were unpleasant that you've gone through, or things that you didn't know why you were going through. They're what made you you. And
Yes.
that's what steered you to want to do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's such an incredible concept. And I think sometimes people don't understand that. They
Yeah.
don't
I mean,
understand that the struggles are what make you.
it's the reason why
Yeah,
you are who you are. And even
most
though,
definitely.
I think one of the other things that, like when I talk about my faith and things like that, I also remember that like my challenges really aren't for me. So I went through this,
Right,
but now I'm creating something that in m- my hope and my prayer is that it ensures that my experience doesn't happen for someone else, that they
right,
don't experience
right,
the trauma that I went through. But
right,
I had to go through that in order for this to come to fruition.
right. Exactly, exactly. Would you do it again?
I would.
Okay.
My response to how people treat me might be different. That
Right,
that
right.
that might be real different. But I would do it again. I would do it again because, I think it was purposeful. Like
Okay.
I would not be in this place had I not gone through that. And
Mm-hmm.
I think had I not gone through that, I might still be in teacher education and
Mm-hmm.
working
Right,
specifically with teachers and have
right,
absolutely no
right.
kind of affiliation with healthcare. So,
So, what would you say to someone, or what kind of advice would you give to someone who might be thinking of going into their next phase or next chapter of their life, but they're a little afraid?
so again, I'm going to go back and lean on my faith.
Okay.
So, I am a believer that if you don't do it willingly, God will help you.
Mm-hmm.
And when He helps you, it does not feel good.
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
So I always believe that like God gives you the opportunity to like walk it out on your
Mm-hmm.
own. And it is my suggestion that you walk it out on your own rather than He push you out because that pushing out does not feel good at all. And so I say go willingly rather than any other way. But I think the other thing is like, it's interesting. I see some of these TikToks and I see a lot of people that are in their 40s and 50s and they're like, "Do you ever get that desire to just kind of blow your whole life up and start over again?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know that that was the feeling, but I feel like that's what happened.
Right,
Um, but again, I'm like, if you are, 40s, 50s, 60s, like we have lived through a lot.
right. Yes, yes.
And so because of all the things, COVID and recessions
Mm-hmm.
and all these other things we've lived through, life probably looks very different for a lot of us
Mm-hmm.
from who we thought we would be and where we thought we would be to where we are now. And in most cases, I would say just take the leap. Just
Mm-hmm.
just do it. Just do it. It may not be easy and
Right,
because this has not been easy at all.
right,
This is
right.
probably the most tumultuous and difficult season of my life
Mm-hmm.
ever. But I know the greater is going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And I see light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know when I'm going to get there, but I know that my path is being led in that direction. And I know if I had chosen to stay
Mm-hmm.
where I was, it would have only hurt me more.
Right, right,
And I don't enjoy pain.
right.
So I will gladly walk.
Sometimes, and one of the one of the concepts that I like to bring out. Sometimes things have to be so ugly that it makes you step out
Look,
and earn that next phase of your life. And so maybe that's what happened with
mm,
you.
it is.
Yeah.
And you know, it's
Okay.
interesting because I kind of had two of those seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and um that happened two times. And I think that there's um there's a challenge in that because there's there's the portion of um I need to listen better.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I need to act sooner. But I think that there's also something like so special in that
Mm-hmm.
because I think that I have learned a lot of my about myself. I am more resilient than I have ever been. You know, and when you were talking about imposter syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I realized as I have gone through these particular experiences, you can't tell me I don't belong in the room.
Right. Right.
Like I mean, I have a PhD
Right.
and that's great and all, but even if I didn't have a PhD, you can't tell
Right.
me I don't
Right.
belong here
Right.
because I do, and
Right.
that's it. And for some of you that are sitting in this room, you actually should not be.
Right. Well, sometimes people they get creds on but no merit to
Right.
earn those creds. So, yep, I
Exactly.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so I'm just like
Yep,
I have earned
you've
my
earned
place
it. Yep,
here, and there is no one that is going to make me feel less than.
yep.
Um, because they see a black woman and is like, oh no, well she can't. No, she does,
Mhm.
and we'll talk. She will talk, and she will advocate for herself, and she's not afraid of anyone. So
Okay. So, do you have any closing remarks or any pearls to give to someone that may be thinking about stepping out there? Anything you've learned? What's one good thing you've learned on this journey?
you know this. I think I had to learn this for myself. So I'm kind of a person that's just like, you know, there are people that work with me, they're like, "Oh, well, I have this idea," and I'm just like, "Okay, try it.
Right.
You
Right.
might fail. It's
Right.
fine. At least you learn something that you fail."
Yep. Yep.
I don't know that I was taking my own advice,
Mhm. I can see
and
that. I can
so,
see that.
yep.
Yep.
And so I'm just like, I'm gonna try it. If I fail, I fail.
Okay.
But what if I don't?
Okay.
But you'll never know unless you try.
And you are so right. But you can have regrets for not even trying. Yep.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, thank you, Dr. Walker. Thanks
Mhm.
for joining us today and sharing your story. It was very powerful. I am so excited about your business. I
Thank
might
you.
be more excited than you because this is amazing. That is an amazing um, um, business to have, and it's so needed. It is so
Yeah.
needed. And we need
Yeah.
people like you so that we can even the playing field um, as as Black women are having their babies.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
thank you. I look so forward to that. Thank you to our sponsors, M&M Aesthetics. Be sure to contact them at mnmaesthetics1@gmail.com. They're located in Sylvania, Ohio. And thank you to our listeners and viewers for spending time with us on Ignite with Dr. Angela. Keep growing and glowing and keep believing in yourself. And until next time, let's talk about it. Okay. Thanks, Krista. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ignite. ignite the spark with Dr. Angela's eye. Step into the future shining bright, helping students